Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 4, episode 17, and this is part one of a two-part episode. So, yes, this will be an official two-part episode, and I will be doing this one solo. I've been wanting to do a few more solo episodes in season 4, and this is actually an official 2023 to 2024 NFL preview. I'm going to be breaking down the AFC, the NFC, giving you my predictions, who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, talk about new players, new transactions, some new moves, and break down a lot of stuff. So, with part one, this is episode 17. Part two will be episode 18. For part one, I'll be breaking down the AFC. I will be digging into the AFC, digging into the teams, digging into all the divisions in the AFC, and I'll be giving you my predictions of what I think is going to happen in this conference. And then in part two, for episode 18, I'll be breaking down the NFC. So this is a fun one I wanted to do. I did this for the World Cup in Qatar. My solo episodes do get a lot of love, so I want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in, and all the feedback I get. I love having guests. I have more guests. There's a few more episodes left for season 4. However, I had to have some solo episodes, and I wanted to do an NFL preview. It is July. This episode will be coming out on Wednesday, July 5th. So, well, actually, both parts will be part one and part two. And I wanted to get this out a couple months before the season starts because the NFL will be here before we know it. Football is the most exciting time of the year, in my opinion, especially just being a sports fan in general. So I had to break it down. Uh, I want to start off with the AFC East. The AFC East consists of the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, and the New England Patriots. Now, this is going to be a division that is watched very carefully. The reason why with the Patriots, they're still trying to figure out their identity with offense, with the quarterback. They do have a few guys that have signed. Belichick always drafts weird, always kind of builds the roster weird. So I don't see a lot of crazy stuff there this year. Like offensively, some of the additions that they've added are Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Gesicki from the Dolphins, who are actually in the same division. So I see the Patriots being competitive, but in my opinion, just in this division alone, between those 4 teams, I think the Patriots are going to finish last place. Um, I just don't think Belichick can do it with this roster. I still think there's some identity issues at quarterback where, are they really sold on Mac Jones, and just kind of want to see where it takes off. But I do like them bringing in Juju and Mike Gesicki. That's a couple big names, a couple people that can be really good for that offense and factor in. But we just got to see how they're used. If they're not utilized right, which Belichick can definitely do that on a lot of scales, where he'll have players that are star players, and sometimes you just don't utilize them to their best ability. Now he did that with Randy Moss in the past, and of course Brady, but yeah, I just think this team finishes fourth, and just they're not going to make the playoffs. Next, I'm going to move on to the team that I think is going to finish third in the division. A team that's probably going to have some of the most eyes on it this year alone. And that reason is because of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers now is a New York Jet. He has left the Green Bay Packers, and the New York Jets have, you know, added him and added a lot of people, a lot of Aaron's people. They've added Randall Cobb, who was with the Packers. They've added Alan Lazard, who was with the Packers. So a lot of targets that Aaron's familiar with. Now, I am not a huge Aaron fan. I don't think Aaron is somebody who's, yeah, he's won a couple MVPs recently, but I just don't see him taking the Jets to the Super Bowl or making it. Now, Sauce Gardner, I think, is the best defensive player in the NFL. That's my opinion. I think defensively, the Jets are going to be very, very strong. However, I still see them falling in the bottom of the mix of this division. Now, others might be like, oh, the Jets are going to take off. They're going to be number one. They're going to conquer it, dominate it. I just don't see that happening, especially with the other competition in this division. And also, too, it's just, I still think there is a lot of youth there and there's a lot of learning. But some think Rodgers can turn it around. We'll just have to see. I just think that it's kind of almost like you're watching another Green Bay team, though. And I just don't think Green Bay had it anymore. So um, they definitely don't have it now, I don't think. So I just see the Jets finishing third, and I just don't see a lot of the hype. Now, with this, me recording this episode early July, I know that they were picking different hard knock, kind of trying to figure out who they wanted to do for hard knocks. Detroit had it last year, and the hard knocks, for Detroit was incredible. They actually wanted to bring it back. And so, yeah, I'm actually confirming, and the Jets actually are going to have hard knocks. So the New York Jets have hard knocks. I think it's a horrible idea for that team because I think it's already messy. Rodgers tries to control the narrative all the time, but maybe we'll get to see some stuff, and maybe we'll get to see kind of how this coach operates too, who's been up there a couple years, Salah, and it's just I just don't see them doing a lot. But I'll watch the Hard Knocks. I definitely be tuned in. I try to watch every year, and it's good stuff. Second place, I'm gonna say, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh shit, you didn't put Bills first?" Nope. I'm going second place, Buffalo Bills. I do not think they're winning the division. Josh Allen is way overhyped. I have been saying this. People, are not realizing that he's not done anything. I mean, he's made a playoff, but he's not done anything. He can't make it past the Bengals. He can't make it past the Chiefs, and they're just it's not there. There's already drama started this year, but they are competitive. I do think they are better than the Jets and Patriots, and Josh Allen does have talent. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see them winning this division. I think that they have a lot of places they need to answer. Now they did with the running back. They've built almost a 4 or 5 man rotation with the running back, and also people they can utilize on special teams. So I think that's really helped them big time. Another thing with special teams that they did big, which I was really shocked by because you don't see a lot of teams do this, but they signed their kicker and punter to long extensions. So, Bass, who's considered one of the best kickers in the NFL, he's been extended. And Sam Martin, who's an amazing punter, played in Detroit at one time. He got a big extension as well. So on the special teams, they know what they're doing. Special teams wins you football games in the NFL. And I think it was important for them to lock in those key players. But I just still on offense with his Diggs drama, with a lot of stuff going, maybe they got it all figured out, but I don't see the Bills winning the division. So they're going to wrap up in second place. I do think the Bills make the playoffs. They'll be one of the three that do, but it's just, not division champs. And first place, the team that I think will win the AFC East is going to be the Miami Dolphins. Tua, who a lot of people hate on, some people love. I think Tua is an okay quarterback. He's not, he's not the superstar. He's not huge, but he is accurate. He's getting better. He's put on weight. He's got to avoid injuries and taking these hits, getting these concussions and head drama. Miami, especially with Tua being their quarterback, has always had to rely on somebody backing him up or, helping him out when it comes to injuries or relief when he's playing bad. So Tua's really got to be focused, but I think he can do it. Tyreek Hill's amazing. Guy is incredible, one of the best athletes in the NFL. Waddle is huge. I mean, he's huge in their offense. And then, overall, Jalen Ramsey, that's a huge addition. And I think with Jalen Ramsey, he's going to bring some to that defense they really need. And then you got Xavier Howard, who's on defense there. He's a huge player that people don't forget about a lot, but he led the league in interceptions at one time. Jalen Ramsey, who's been NFL defensive MVP, he's a former Super Bowl winner. The guy knows how to fucking play. He's young still. He hits hard. He will be huge for the defense. And then I love the Mike White pickup. a Western Kentucky native. Shout out to Mike White. He got picked up by the Dolphins, so he'll be a huge backup. And in case Tua does injure or plays bad, I think White can come in, and I think either Tua or White can both lead this team to a division win. Now, do I think the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl? Do I think they make a long run in the playoffs? Hell no. But I do think they win the AFC East, and I think Miami does have some things to celebrate this year. We're now going to move on to the AFC West. The AFC West consists of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos, the LA Chargers, and the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to start off like I'll do it just like I did the other division, where I'm going to go last to first, and I'm going to say the Raiders are going to be fourth in the division. They will not make the playoffs this year at all. Wonderful stadium, decent coach. Kind of still building his regime there. Jimmy Garoppolo now coming to town. Derek Carr's out. You still have Devontae Adams. So probably is one of the best, or is the best wide receiver in all of NFL. And they got some things they're really trying to build on from last year, not have the worst year that they did. Like with Jacoby Myers, that's a huge pickup, a receiver. He's a former Patriot. I think he's going to do very well in that offense. With McDaniels using a lot of Patriots offensive schemes down there in Las Vegas, I think Jacoby will pick it up real quick, and he got some money. And then you got Marcus Epps, who signed. I think that's a huge pickup by Las Vegas. So those will be huge key pieces. Jimmy G is very talented. He's a winner. I mean, no matter what you want to say about him, he does turn the ball over. He's not a superstar, but he is relevant. Now, I know he already has some injuries shit going on. I know they're going to be moving stuff on. They got Stidham down there. So there's going to be a lot of stuff. A lot of questions need to be answered in Las Vegas. But they have a huge fan base, got a beautiful stadium. So I think Vegas is just exciting for NFL football to be there again, and we'll see what they do. But they're not going to make it far in this division. This division is just too tough, way too tough. The LA Chargers. I think that they know that they have a tough division. Justin Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Guy's got an arm. I think they're great when it comes to winning a lot of non-conference games and even some away games. I think that they probably should have thrown a little bit more money and maybe locked down Austin Eckler for a longer deal. But they have a lot of money tied up in that team, especially on defense. But defense-wise, they're strong. I mean, they really are. So I think the Chargers can be competitive and relevant. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. I don't believe so, but I think that they come third in this division. But this could be a division that a few teams out of it make it just because they're all so strong. I think with the Denver Broncos, they're going to come second in the division behind the Chiefs. The reason I say Denver will be second, Denver is going to turn around this year. Russell Wilson won't have another shit year like he did. There's no way. The guy's a Hall of Famer. He is older, but I think he's going to turn it around. I had never seen a collapse like I did last year. I think they do have a lot of star players. I think a lot of people don't take that into consideration, and they kind of write them off thinking it's the same Broncos from last year. But they've been trying to add some key pieces. They've been trying to, really kind of add things offensively. And, they also, I think what it's going to come down to with this team is it's a situation where they really have to follow their coach now, with him being there now, and there's just a lot they got to follow. They got Broncos also have Marquez Callaway, who came in. They got Ben Powers. They've signed a lot of people at offensive tackle. And I apologize, I made a mistake. Stidham's not actually with Las Vegas. He's actually, I forgot, he's getting picked up by the Broncos. So he's actually in this division still with the Broncos. So I do think it's a big pickup. by Sean. Sean is going to do a lot of things, I think, for Denver. But I think Russell's really just going to have to lock in. And, the biggest thing that Sean was saying before he took over the head coaching job when he was an NFL analyst is, why is Russell Wilson not running? Like, he's one of the biggest weapons is his legs. So Russell Wilson's going to have to utilize his legs. He's going to have to scramble more, and he's going to have more rushing touchdowns for that team to win. But I think the Broncos got good leadership. I think there's a lot of discipline. Sean is already holding them accountable, calling people out in the media, like his own players. So I think it's a case where, there's going to be some fire lit in Denver, and that city's expecting, they want people to win. They want winning programs. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But Denver will not win the division this year. Just no, I'm not all in yet. The Kansas City Chiefs will win the division. Patrick Mahomes is, in my opinion, the second best quarterback in the NFL. I think Joe Burrow's the first best. I am a Bengals fan, but I do believe Joe Burrow's the best. But Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer already. He's done a bunch. I think Burrow just needs more time. Yeah, Mahomes could be considered the best. I do think he's up there. I love watching him play, but yeah, the guy knows how to do it. He's going to win again. They're going to make a run. In my opinion, and I'm going to get to it, I think Cincinnati makes it to the Super Bowl again. But I think it's a case where the Chiefs are going to still be in the mix. They're going to win. They're going to make a run in the playoffs. And I think Mahomes, Kelsey, it's just a combo you can't stop, that quarterback tight end combo. And then, they got McKinnon back, who was huge for them on special teams and running. And so I think the Chiefs are going to make another run and be that tough team out of the AFC West. Moving over to the AFC North, where my Cincinnati Bengals are, they will definitely win this division, but we'll break down all four, of course, because this is the NFL preview. Vibing with Sleezy, baby. And Cleveland Browns will be fourth. I think they finished last. I think that there's still a lot of things they got to work on. Defensively, they're great. You got Ward, you got Garrett, you got a lot of key players on defense that have been there a while and, know how to play. Offensively, though, Deshaun Watson's really got to step it up. He's got to get back into rhythm. Maybe a training camp and maybe a full season is going to help him. He's got to keep away from all these distractions off the field. And the Browns offense just really has to step it up. I believe third place is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they did a lot of shit off season wise that they needed to. Odell Beckham is great. I get it, but he's not going to change your offense. Lamar is still the scrambling quarterback. Lamar is a key. The Ravens did sign Lamar. I'm glad Lamar finally got locked in because that was something they need to do. Lamar Jackson's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, former NFL MVP. I think that him and Odell can be a combo, like they're going to work well together, but I just think there was a lot of other key pieces that need to be made for Baltimore to be that huge relevant team. I do not see Cleveland and Baltimore being one of the three non-division winners making it to the playoffs at all, but I think that Baltimore will be competitive, but they're going to be the Baltimore of the past couple of seasons. Pittsburgh will be second. Pittsburgh Steelers will definitely be second. They're tough, especially on defense, offense. Najee Harris. A lot of people are comparing Kenny Pickett to a lot of the bigger names at quarterback. Read an article today from USA Today about Kenny Pickett being compared to Josh Allen. There's a lot of hype about him. He was fun to watch at Pittsburgh, and he's a Pittsburgh kid staying there, but the Steelers they can't beat the Bengals. The Bengals run that division. That's why the Bengals are first place. Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the NFL. Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, the offense is just dangerous. You got Joe Mixon, you got Higgins, you got Boyd. I mean, you got the best wide receiver class in all of NFL football. The Bengals will win it again. They'll make a run. They're making to the Super Bowl. This is the Cincinnati Bengals year. They did lose people on the defensive side with like Jesse Bates, who was a team captain, went to Atlanta, but the Bengals will make the run. This division's weak, in my opinion, and I think Cincinnati comes out on top. Now we're going to finish off with the last division of this conference, the AFC, and we're going to focus on the South. I'm actually recording this episode out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from Nashville, Tennessee. The Tennessee Titans are actually in this division, but this also consists of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Houston Texans, and the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of these teams are close to me. I'm not a fan of them, but I do watch them. I'm kind of in the area. I've been to Colts games. I've been to Titans games, of course. The Titans are actually going to be building a new stadium down here in Nashville. They're going to be replacing theirs here in a few years. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a big music venue and football place. So the Titans are really going all in on football, going all in on the city of Nashville down here. And Derrick Henry, I think, is a big part of that, at running back and stuff like that. So coming out of here, out of Tennessee, recording this episode, I'm down here visiting on vacation. I think the hype is still relevant in this town for the Titans. You still see the believers, and I think they want to make it back to those Steve McNair, Eddie George days. But let's start with that. Let's start breaking down this division. So the last place will be the Indianapolis Colts. They're going to be awful. The Colts are on another rebuild. I feel like that is the same thing you say every year about this team. They're just going to be no good. There was a lot of hype over the Colts the past couple of years. A lot of people thought they were going to be big. A lot of people thought they were going to make a run. I just don't see it. The Colts have weapons, but this is just not their year. So fourth place for the Colts, no playoffs at all. Houston Texans, huge draft, did an amazing draft. Huge rookies for the Houston Texans. You got C.J. Stroud, Nathaniel Dell, Will Anderson Jr. Those are three pieces that people need to watch, not only in Houston, not only as a Texans fan, but just as an NFL or football fan alone. Those are going to be some talented guys, and they'll be making a name for themselves. I think Houston places third. I don't see them making the playoffs at all either, but I think Houston is going to make strides to keep improving, keep getting better, and they're going to play hard this year. They're going to play hard. They will be playing some tough football. Second place, coming, like I said, I'm out of Hendersonville here, about 30 minutes from where the Titans play. I'm going to say Tennessee Titans will be second place. They won't win the division. They will be good. They just got my boy Will Levis from the University of Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky Wildcat fan. He's not been having a great camp, but I think he'll be doing good. I think once he gets in rhythm, and I think Tennessee's going to be well. Now, quarterback, there's still some identity issues. You got Tannehill and the rookie from last year, now Will Levis. So there's going to be some things there, and Derrick Henry's got to stay healthy, but I just don't see the Titans coming out on top. Who's going to come out on top of this division is the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. They are tough. They are well coached. Nathan Peterson, he's got it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Why did I say Nathan Peterson? Sorry, I'm thinking the quarterback. Doug Peterson, excuse me. Doug Peterson just has him well coached. Love the Evan Ingram re-sign up. Trevor Lawrence has finally seen his weapons. He's really getting into rhythm. They won some really big key games. I think this division is weak. I think this is the weakest division in all of NFL football. It usually always is. And I see the Jaguars really making a run. I even see them making this a little bit relevance in the playoffs. I don't see them making it to the Super Bowl or anything like that, of course, or even to that final championship game there in the conference, but they will make a run, and Trevor's going to keep improving. They got a nice piece down there. It just needed some time. And like I said, watch Evan Ingram there for the Jets, sorry, I'm talking a lot here. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're going to be, it's going to be huge. I think that combo of Lawrence to Ingram will, you could be seeing 14 plus touchdowns. I also think defensively, they got some key weapons, and they got that big safety they signed, Andrew Wigard, to a really big contract. So they're bringing in the right pieces, and they know what they're doing also on special teams, and they're also building a new stadium. I think Jacksonville is going to have a new stadium eventually here in a few years. So that division is really trying to put money into football, it sounds like, especially in their cities and places. So weak division, Jags come out on top, Colts finish last, and that's kind of how we wrap up the AFC. Now, when I'm looking at this, here's the four teams that are guaranteed, in my opinion, that will make the playoffs: the Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So now the big question is, who are the other three teams? Three other teams can make the NFL playoffs that are not division winners. So as I'm looking at this, I think the Buffalo Bills will be the first team in that's not a division winner. They just still have talent. I think they've been there, but they don't make a run. Not at all. I think the second team that makes the playoffs for the AFC is going to be the Denver Broncos. I think the Denver Broncos, like I said, are well coached. I think they're going to learn from a lot of mistakes last year, and I think they sneak in. Now, do they do anything? I think a lot of the division winners will, but I think the Broncos will definitely make the playoffs. And the third last team, I hate saying this, just being a Bengals fan, but the Pittsburgh Steelers will be the third team. It'll be similar to Ben Roethlisberger's last year, where they came in at the wild card, like pretty much were a 500 team. They're not going to do anything, but they will make it. Kenny Pickett is talented. Najee Harris, they got the offense. If Watt can stay healthy on defense, he's a force. I mean, just with sacks alone, he changes the whole NFL game. So I think the Steelers make the mix in there. And then I think, like I said, the Bengals come out on top. We are the conference champions, and we go to the Super Bowl. So I'm really excited to see how this AFC plays out. I'm excited about fantasy. I'm excited about just football in general. But I think there's been a lot of movement. I think the offense is what's going to be most exciting in the AFC. The defense is great. And of course, it's part of the game. But just looking at these teams and seeing some of these movements, these rookies, these draft picks, even what people are doing special teams wise and backup quarterback is incredible. So, you know, if you're playing fantasy this year, if you're wanting to watch a team or you're a fan of an AFC team, hopefully this episode really got your gears running, got you excited for the football season. This is part one of a two-parter for the NFL preview. This is the Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast NFL preview for the 2023-2024 season. I'll be coming out with episode 18, which will be part two, covering the NFC, giving you the NFC winner, I think, for the conference there, and then telling you my official Super Bowl prediction. I think I've already said it on here already. So you'll be hearing again on part two. But the Bengals win the Super Bowl, duh. So I think the Bengals are going to make a huge run for the AFC. I'm not just saying that as a homer. I really am all in on the Cincinnati Bengals this year. So I'm really excited to see what Joe Burrow and the boys can do. But I think I've given you a lot of info, a lot of new updates. And like I said, hopefully this was a lot of fun. For you, it was fun for me. I love covering sports. I love doing solo episodes. And I like trying something new. So the Qatar soccer preview did really well. It got a lot of world numbers and listens. So I'm hoping this happens too. So this is part one, season 4, episode 17. I want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in, downloading, everybody that's been showing support. Season 4 has been an absolute blast. BabblingWithSleazy.com, BabblingWithSleazy@gmail.com, BabblingWithSleazy, the podcast, Facebook, Instagram. Reach out, show love. Keep downloading, tuning in, listening. If you haven't listened to the Qatar preview, even though the World Cup's over and Messi won it, go back and listen. It was a lot of fun. And listen to any episode. They're all up on all the platforms. So thank you all. This is part one, and part two will be out next. Peace.